The cinema story starts with a young Shuri working tirelessly in her lab, as her brother T'Challa is dying from an unknown illness, and she is hoping to discover a cure. When she discovers a solution that may help, she is met by Ramonda, who seriously informs Shuri that her brother has passed on. The Kingdom of Wakanda holds a funeral procession for their beloved king. Every citizen dresses in white, and a mural of T'Challa has been painted. Shuri and Ramonda bring T'Challa's casket out until a ship arrives to carry him up. Shuri takes one last moment to cry over her brother's casket while the kingdom does the Wakandan salute. 1 year later, Ramonda reaches at the United Nations. The U.S. Secretary of State chastises Wakanda for not living up to their promises of getting involved in worldly affairs. The French SOS also states that they believe the Wakandans are keeping vibranium for building weapons of mass destruction. Ramonda hits back that they know what would happen if vibranium fell into the hands of others. The night before, an outreach facility in Mali was penetrated by mercenaries trying to obtain vibranium, but they were met by Dora Milaje warriors led by Okoye, all of whom proceeded to swiftly incapacitate them. The Dora Milaje then bring the captured mercs before the UN, where Okoye forces them to kneel. Before they leave, Ramonda tells that any repeated attempts such as this will be met with a brutal response. In the Atlantic Ocean, a CIA team led by Dr. Graham operates with a vibranium detecting machine. 2 divers go underwater and discover that their mining drill has been exhausted, just before the 2 are taken and killed by unseen attackers. Moments later, a tribe of blue-skinned people, Talokans, emerge and proceed to attack the ship, killing the people on board. Dr. Graham and her colleague effort to flee in a helicopter, but the Talokan leader Namor take hold of the helicopter and throws it into the ocean. Ramonda and Okoye coming back to Wakanda, where Ramonda sees Shuri continuing her work on new technology. While her mother advises that she continue working on her synthetic heart-shaped herb to bring back the Black Panther, Shuri refuses as she believes the Black Panther to be a relic and only tried to recreate the herb to save T'Challa. Ramonda then brings Shuri by the water to try and burn their ceremonial garbs to end the mourning period and begin to celebrate T'Challa's life. Shuri shows anger at the world for her brother's death. Moments later, they are met by Namor, who tells Ramonda and Shuri that he was not happy with T'Challa's decision to expose Wakanda to the rest of the world, because this left his kingdom open and vulnerable to enemies since Talokans also possess vibranium. Namor orders them to locate and bring to him the scientist that created the vibranium detecting machine, or he will attack Wakanda. He also says them not to let the others know about his existence. Ramonda tasks Okoye with going to find the scientist, but Shuri tags along despite her mother's objections. She and Okoye go to Virginia to find Everett Ross, where they ask him about the scientist. To their wonder, Ross informs them that the scientist is a teenager student at MIT named Riri Williams. Shuri goes to Riri's dorm room and informs her that she needs to go with them, while also learning that her vibranium detecting machine was merely a class project that the CIA acquired. Riri doesn't believe the urgency until Okoye cracks out of her bathroom and makes Riri go with them. Riri leads Shuri and Okoye to her garage where she works on her projects. Soon, FBI agents reach at the garage, forcing the ladies to spring into action and flee. Riri gets her own iron armor suit that helps her fly, while Shuri and Okoye try to drive away. A drone goes after them, but Riri flies high enough to shoot it down before she runs out of oxygen. The drone then crashes over several cop cars, allowing Shuri and Okoye to keep going. Unfortunately, they are stopped when the Talokans corner them on a bridge and throw a water bomb at them, causing Shuri to lose consciousness. Riri also crashes, and the Talokans attempt to capture her, but Okoye involves in battle with them, on the face of it killing 3 soldiers before facing the General Atuma. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel, like and share this video and hit your comments. He nearly kills her with her own spear until she shudders it out of his hands, and the other 3 Talokans rise unharmed. When Okoye efforts to continue fighting, she is knocked off the bridge. Shuri recovers consciousness and tells the Talokans to take her with them, so they take her and Riri. Ross goes to the crime spot on the bridge the next day, where he is met by Contessa Valentina de Fontaine, as she is now director of the CIA, and also Ross's ex-wife. Ross locates Shuri's Kimoyo beads and secretly takes them with him. Okoye returns to Wakanda before the council to ask Ramonda to lead a team underwater to find Shuri, but for her failure in keeping Shuri safe, Ramonda strips Okoye of her rank as general and of her position as Dora Milaje. Ramonda drives to Shuri's lab and asks her AI griot to track Shuri's beads. She then gets in touch with Ross, who secretly communicates to her behind Val's back. He tells Ramonda that the CIA trusts Wakanda is responsible for the attack on the mining ship, but Ramonda cannot tell him much about Namor's involvement. Ramonda goes to Haiti, where she finds Nakia working at a school ever since the blip. While she and Ramonda are happy to see each other, Ramonda notes Nakia was absent from T'Challa's funeral. Nakia tells her that she couldn't bear to think of it as being the end of his life, even though Ramonda recaps her that for Wakandans, death is never the end. She asks Nakia for help in rescuing Shuri. Nakia goes to speak to a local village woman in the Yucatan Peninsula, as she has seen Namor and describes his legend as Kukulkan, or the feathered serpent god. Down in Talokan, Shuri is given traditional garbs to wear before meeting with Namor. He starts to tell her his backstory. In 1571, his mother was part of a village that had been plagued by smallpox after the arrival of Spanish conquistadors. The people turned to the god Chak for salvation. They found a blue plant underwater that they swallowed to cure them of their ailments, but while it removed their sicknesses, it turned their skin blue and forced them underwater since they could no longer breathe air. Then later, Namor was born different from the others, with wings on his ankles and the ability to breathe on land and underwater. His mother died heartbroken due to missing her life on the surface, and when he went to bury her, he saw the conquistadors raiding and enslaving the villagers. Namor and the Talokans attacked, with one priest referring to Namor as a child without love, and that's where he got his name, because he has no love for the surface world. He takes Shuri further and shows her his kingdom, a prosperous and thriving nation not unlike Wakanda, and he asks Shuri to help protect their kingdoms against the rest of the world. Nakia bring into being her mission to recover Shuri and Riri. Meanwhile, Ramonda meets with Namor after she speaks to Ross, who informed her that the CIA is looking for to take action against Wakanda for the mining ship attack. When she tells Namor to accept responsibility for it, he tells Ramonda about taking retaliatory action against the Wakandans if they threaten Talokan's exposure. Nakia makes her way underwater and neutralizes Talokan warrior before she can attack Shuri. Namor's cousin Namora grabs Shuri, but Nakia hits her with a fatal sonic blast. She escapes with Shuri and Riri, but Namor finds the warrior as she dies, taking it as an attack on Wakanda's part, so he leads his warriors to strike back. In the city, Nakia reunites with Okoye, but they soon see the area flooding before they recognize they are under attack. The Talokans begin to water bomb the city, flooding the places and destroying buildings. M'Baku leads his Jabari warriors in battle while Shuri tries to fight back with her tech. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel, like and share this video and hit your comments. Namor makes it to the palace and water bombs it heavily, causing Ramonda and Riri to sink. Namor remits Shuri to join them in the attack against the surface world, or Wakanda will be completely destroyed. Ramonda be able to pull Riri to the surface, but they are both unconscious. The Dora Milaje manage to recover Riri, but Ramonda is passed on. A funeral is held for Ramonda. M'Baku goes to console Shuri and offer counsel, as T'Challa requested of him, but she is mourning the loss of her whole family. Meanwhile, Valentina has Ross arrested after learning he was talking to Ramonda in secret. While the rest of Wakanda gears up for Namor's return, Shuri finishes work on her Midnight Angel suits for Okoye and another Dora Milaje warrior, Annika, while Riri works on her own iron suit. Shuri and Riri come up with a plan for drawing Namor toward a dry area to weaken him so he may be defeated. Shuri catches that the bracelet that Namor gave her contains a material that the Talokans used to live underwater, which she mixes with T'Challa's DNA to successfully create a synthetic heart-shaped herb. With Nakia and Okoye, Shuri swallows the herb and drives into the ancestral plane, hoping to see Ramonda to give her guidance. Instead, she is met by Killmonger. He explains that she sees him because she is being driven by her desire for revenge against Namor for her mother's death and her anger over her brother's death, declaring that she is just like him. Killmonger also says T'Challa was too noble and would have also selected to spare Namor like he did Zemo after his father was killed. When Shuri wakes up, she is unable to tell Nakia that she saw Killmonger and feels that her mother and brother abandoned her. However, she knows it is now up to her to lead the kingdom in battle, so she goes to wear her own helmet. As the tribes are debating their next move, a ship flies overhead, and Shuri descends for the first time in her new Black Panther outfit. M'Baku proudly declares that the Black Panther lives. Shuri then gives everyone a speech about what they have to do next. The Wakandans board a ship to prepare for battle, and they send out a signal from another vibranium detecting machine to trap the Talokans to them. They involve in their showdown, with the Talokans trying to board the ship while Dora Milaje and Jabari warriors fight back. Riri appears in her new Ironheart armor suit while Okoye and Nakia fly in with their Midnight Angel suits. Namor gets high enough for Riri to knock out him with a blast, and Shuri catches him in her ship to begin evaporating the water on his skin. Riri is attacked by Namor while Okoye has a rematch with Atuma. Riri blasts Namor into the ocean while Okoye knocks Atuma off the ship. Namor stabs to break the ship with his spear, but Shuri fights him with her suit. Shuri tries to have the ship fly toward the desert, but Namor succeeds in breaking it down and destroying it, affecting them to crash. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel, like and share this video and hit your comments. Shuri and Namor continue their fight, with Namor still having enough strength to beat Shuri and spear her. Thinking on Killmonger's words, Shuri is able to free and heal herself before going back to fighting Namor. She uses the exhaust from her ship to fire enough heat toward Namor to severely weaken him. She grabs his spear and prepares to deal the killing blow until she sees a vision of Ramonda speaking to her, telling her to show him who she really is. Shuri orders Namor to yield so that neither of their people has to suffer from their pursuits for revenge, and Namor agrees. He yields and is taken back to the Talokans to call off their fight and return home. In the consequences, Shuri sends Riri home back to Boston but tells her she has to leave her suit there for fear that the US will resume disputes with Wakanda. She does present Riri with the car that belonged to her father, now fixed up. Back in Talokan, Namor speaks to Namor and tells her it was essential to ally themselves with Wakanda since they have no other allies to protect them, and this will work in their own favor. Meanwhile, Okoye goes to break out Ross from captivity. Shuri goes to Haiti to meet with Nakia by a beach, as she says there is one thing she needs to do. She sits by a campfire and burns her ceremonial garbs, as she sits down to recall about T'Challa and finally mourn for his death. Nakia brings a boy, Toussaint, who is her and T'Challa's son, and so Shuri's nephew. Nakia confirms that Ramonda met him before her death, and that he has been living peacefully there. Toussaint tells Shuri that his Wakandan name is T'Challa. Shuri sits and smiles, knowing her brother's legacy lives on. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel, like and share this video and hit your comments.